another question to ask would be, how valuable is excitement to you? You know, because a lot of times people say, you know, what's most meaningful is not what's most exciting. But then you go, well, how is excitement important to you? And a lot of people will be like, either yeah or yeah, it's really important.
I also think, you know, like looking at myself, I think that it changes through the years. Like I come from the space where I mean, excitement was everything. Like,
Right.
I needed to keep being excited.
Right. That the chasing highs thing.
Right, the
Right.
chasing
Right.
the highs, and like when we get more, can't speak at all, and I did not smoking weed.
That's the
My
problem.
biggest fear was that the excitement will run out,
Right.
and then what? But then, you know, through life, I think, and getting older and just learning, it can change. I'm sure it doesn't change for everyone, but you know, excitement is a good thing until you realize maybe it's not always a good thing.
Right.
And then maybe like meaningful things and long-lasting meaningful things are more become more exciting.
Yeah. It's a balance. I just say everybody has a balance of, you know, we need consistency, reliability, and steady, but we also need some forms of excitement and like new and different. It's just a matter
That was
of
part of my conversation actually, when I realized that the list that someone produced for me was like all excitement, all like one night stands, threesomes, like
right.
that kind of stuff. And then I go, okay, well, this is kind of getting to be like, if you extrapolate it logically, you could say that marriage or a desire for a long-term partnership and all those things that you just listed cannot coexist.
Right. Especially
Cannot
if you
coexist, but we have this, you know, maybe that's an internal, that then it's like a human conflict.
well
Where
it yeah.
you crave the stability and predictability in a long-term relationship, but you also need excitement.
Right. And that's the modern for us. Most for the most of the existence of marriage and relationship, it's a concession. You have your excitement, you're crazy, you're wild, then you get married. And it's either or, right? So, you know, there's this perception that when you're single, like, you know, you have all this excitement and stuff, but what you really, really want and what you're searching for is that meaning. And then you get it,
Partnership.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get it and you're like, oh shit, I really want some excitement. But the reality is, we want both in some balance or shape or form. Some people need more excitement, some people need less excitement.
Yeah.
But the concept that you need to trade it in all or none, the absolutes is what's scary. Like when you start dealing with absolutes and damn near anything, it gets a little crazy because absolutes is it's rough. I mean, you know, I love consistency and I love meaningful, but you know, every now and then I want something exciting and different, and you know, I want to feel that. It doesn't necessarily translate to a specific act, but I want to feel that. However I can feel those feelings is what's important to me, and having the right and the freedom to like seek that excitement, new, different, and that can be anything. Like if you're in a monogamous relationship, your excitement and your new and your different could be like taking your girl to Lululemon and having her try on yoga pants and getting hella horny, and then going somewhere in a car and pulling off on the side of the road and getting bossed up. You know what getting bossed up is? Getting a blowjob. Or,
How did I not know that?
well, I don't know. Or, you know, after Lululemon, taking her in the woods and bending her over a bench and tossing her salad.
Benches in the wood.
There are benches in Tilden Park.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's wood in the woods. You could find something to bend her over and toss her salad. But meaning that could be your new. That could be your different. Doesn't mean not to be a different person. Just mean like, you know, see your person in a different light. Like create a different setting. Be a different part of your personality that brings the desire out.
Which goes with this, you know, point that I thought about is interesting, that there is no one who's responsible for your sexual desire but yourself.
Right.
It doesn't, you could meet the most attractive, the most, whatever, dude, but unless you are prepared or in a state of mind or interested, is not gonna be able to turn you on. Like,
Right.
it's not magic. No one has those powers. You have those powers. Like, I have powers to turn myself on and off.
Right. And if you look unavailable, then you're not going to attract that energy. So, yeah, it's just, the balance of having both is important. And to, let's not
Also
pretend.
knowing that you're in control, that you
Right.
can totally make a decision of, hey, I want to feel a certain way, and it's up to me to make myself feel that way.
Right.
And then other people will come, and whether it's your partner or people you meet on the street.
Right. So what are some tips you would give married women or women in relationships to reclaim that ownership? Like what are some things they could do to stoke their own desire and sexuality?
Get out of the house. Get the hell out of the house. Don't stay in the house. Get dressed up. Go, just forget that you're a mom. Forget that you're a wife. Go do something for yourself. Go, get a glass of wine. Sit outside and people watch, or anything. Like, get yourself out of the routine and start thinking the thoughts that you used to think when you were, before this whole relationship landed in your lap, and you lost yourself most likely in the household. I mean, like, my thing today, I have a choice of either, going home and doing whatever I do at home, or not coming home after, dropping kids off. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going home, because I know what happens when I go home.
Right.
It's the laundry, it's the cleaning, it's whatever. And it's not like you're gonna make me do it. It's just I'm gonna make myself do it. So I'm gonna be by myself. I'm gonna go on a walk. I'm gonna go do whatever I wanna do. I'm gonna daydream. I'm gonna make myself feel good.
Right. So those are good tips. That's very good tips. And men, a lot of men don't feel sexy, don't feel desired because, a lot of things can happen in relationships that, kind of can stifle the sex life. So, it's the same with a man. Like, get out the house, go be somewhere alone, like dress up nice and just go people watch, like go somewhere, go be in a different space. I would say have conversations with people of the opposite sex that don't know you. I know that's risky because of the jealousy and some of the commitments that were the boxes that you've been put in, but doesn't mean you have to go and act on anything, but just like having a conversation with someone who's actually genuinely interested in what you have to say and is fascinated with you is very sexually stimulating.
Mm-hmm.
It stokes your flame. Do something that's in your element. Like for me, performing stokes my sexuality. It makes me stuck. It doesn't matter what happens after the set. It's just I get to stir it up. And I get to move people, and people are watching me and being moved by me. And to me, that's empowering, and empowering is sexy. It's hard to feel sexy when you don't feel empowered, when you don't feel like you have the freedom or control to make decisions. Like slavery is not sexy. You don't feel, and so a lot of times people look to break rules and be transgressive to be sexy because it's a way of liberating yourself from shackles. And if you can find ways to do that don't breach your agreements that you've agreed to, that you actually still want to keep, then look for those. But definitely change it up. Being around people who don't know you as mommy, who when you meet them, they don't ask you how your wife is or how your kids are. Like just.
Oh my God! So I was walking today because I just went 3 hours and I went for a walk, and I guess the day was really nice out, and everybody had the same idea. So I'm just walking traffic and I'm listening to all kinds of conversations. And most conversations are women telling their friends about their kids, about their dogs, about their husbands, and I'm like, wow. Like pretty much 100%.
Right. And that's sweet, and that's love. That's the consistency, and that's the meaningful. But that, like we said, that alone, you lose yourself.
I was so happy I was by myself and did not have to have this conversation.
You didn't jump in and be like, well, my kids and my no, kept it moving. But yeah, those are some things. So, we'll get into it. Well, let's get into it right now. First of all, let's debunk the myth that sex, intimacy, and love are one and the same and are intertwined. So, sex is a powerful tool of communication. It's a powerful tool of showing all types of different things. It doesn't mean it's always the most divine thing, and we'll play the game. Everybody close your eyes. Even you. Close your eyes. Think of all the people you've had sex with. All the people, all the penises, all the vaginas, all the lips, all the tongues, all the fingers, all the blah, 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 blah. Now, ask yourself this question and be honest. Has every time you've had sex meant the same thing? Has it felt the same way? Has it always been as deep? Has it always been as good? Was it always lovemaking? And if you're honest with yourself, the answer is no. It's been many different things. Sometimes it was lovemaking, sometimes it was fucking, sometimes it was a mix of both, sometimes it was painful, sometimes it was pleasure, sometimes it was spiritual, sometimes it was just sport, sometimes it was just whimsical, but it never means the same thing. And I always say, well, what's the difference? Because there's only so many positions and only so many sexual activities, fingers, hands, tongues, penises, vaginas. What is the difference? And it's the intention between the people, the connection, that will determine how divine or how not divine something is. So what I say is it's a tool. It's a tool of conveyment. You can use that. It's a powerful tool. So you can use it to uplift. You can use it to empower. You can use it to abuse people. You can use it to manipulate people. You can use it to hurt people, to break a person down or lift them up. It's not always the most divine thing. Intimacy in itself is a separate thing. It's just about having a desire to make a genuine, deep, meaningful connection. You can do that many different ways beyond sex, and sometimes sex is not the best way. And then there's love. As we talked about, like families love meaningful, consistency, reliability, companionship. That doesn't always mean sexy, So I think we can have a more clear conversation about sex if we identify that those things are not all in the same. That sex is, you save that, it's only a divine space. It's not, it's reality. It's not always a divine space. And it doesn't have just one purpose. You gonna say something?
No, I'm thinking.
Oh, okay. Had this look like a hungry ass rapper ready to jump into Cypher, and one rapper's just rapping too long. No. So let's separate those three. Sex, intimacy, and love are different entities. Combined, it's an amazing synergy. If you have great fucking sex with someone that you really love and you really want to genuinely connect with them and build something, then it's an amazing trinity. And sex can be a huge catalyst to that. But it's not always that way. And it doesn't mean if it's not always that way that it's a bad thing. But let's just, it's a tool. It's like a very powerful tool of conveyment.
So I think that's where, like at least me, and then I'm sure maybe a lot more women than men, start to pause and go, no, that's not right. But then, if you think about it, things, I think that women get more connected to people to to partners through sex
Right.
than men.
Right.
It probably, I don't know much about it, but I can only tell, from my experience. But there's something very special that's connected to sex.
Yeah. Well, I think like you're saying, women put more love and desired for love into sex, and men um, put more.
And it's probably not all women and
No.
not all men. It's
Right.
obviously not true for either or.
Right. It's a broad stroke, but generally, and this is what we'll get into, which is fun now, is, you know, we had this conversation we've been ongoing, that I posted a meme about, um, sex and doesn't ruin friendships, and so we had a discussion about that.
Can sex ruin friendships?
Can sex ruin friendships? And of course, the answer is yes. Sex can ruin friendships. And there's a lot of things that can ruin friendships, but my elaboration is, it's usually not sex alone that ruins it. And my argument is that it's usually lack of communication before, during, or after that can ruin it. And my example, and what this kind of sparks are the importance of having the ability to communicate with yourself and be honest with yourself. What do you want out of these sexual interactions that you're having or you're going to have with somebody?
Well, okay, so Teal and I had a pretty heated discussion about it yesterday, and I think that we agree in principle. But what I know is that you can have an honest conversation with yourself and be like, yeah, I'm cool to go into this sex thing with this friend that I really like. But then once you have sex, then that changes, like the level of emotion or connection or your desire for what you want with that person can totally change just through having sex. And then, yeah, you have had those conversations with yourself, but now you're like, whoa, I didn't expect this.
Right.
And then you have to pause, and then you have to, if you're responsible, then you have to talk to yourself about it and